Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got a great rack. I've drawn the first blank, but slightly vowel heavy, so I may not have a bingo this turn. If I did, it would be a 5 vowel 7 or 8, and they can be pretty tricky to spot. If opponent changes, I'm minded to do so myself. Probably getting rid of all the vowels. Now, just the solitary consonant to consider. Should I be looking for a bingo? Gosh, there could be one. Let me quickly squiz through the alphabet. So this rack plus an R. This feels pretty forlorn. Certainly not seen anything yet. No, I'm not seeing anything. Okay, so what to do here? Should I change? Well, there's no E for you, oi, so I'm going to struggle to get rid of O, U and I, which is pretty much a minimum requirement. I think the best I can see is something like Tory I. I'm changing. And that is a much better rack. I am surely bingoing now. Opponent's 2-letter play means at the moment there's no access to double word squares, but there is row H for bingos beginning or ending in O, and that's unlikely with 4 vowels. I think I misread my rack as containing an L rather than duplicate I, so not quite as good a rack as I hoped. However, surely there is a bingo here. Opponent has blocked irrigate. So should I be looking for 7s? I think so. Let's have a proper look for 7s. And this is going to be frustrating if I don't find one. I was very optimistic when I saw this rack. Not seen anything so far. Still nothing. That's the ing ending, but with a ton of vowels. That's irrigate through an R. But is there a 7? Not that I'm seeing. Well, it's ligative, and annoyingly that has been blocked. Wow, what a start to a game. This is unbelievable. Zigatai through a G. Just not seeing a bingo with this rack. I was confident there would be one. So I've seen ligative through the L. Surely there's something through an R. I've got bingos ending IER. Let me put that down. But I'm not seeing a bingo there. What about a bingo beginning RE? No. I've got the tail component part of a word. 16 minutes on my clock and I've scored nothing. This is shocking. And this rack is so non-scory, I am really going to struggle to score anything with it. And I'm also reluctant to let it go because I feel there are bingos here. So coming back to the L, I've seen ligative. What else is there? I would have ideating with a D or an N. What about something through OR? Not seeing anything. Okay, this nonsense has to end. I do need to play. And I'm going to... Well, that's slightly vowel heavy. Let me play off one more vowel. 10 points. I'm up and running and back to a 5-vowel rack. Gosh, this is torture. However, opponent is, well, currently behind me, amazingly, after nearly 6 minutes of play. 10 points to 7. Scrabble at the highest level. Now, what am I going to do with this rack? I have you into 8 through an N or a T, but the only floaters are L's and R's. And I have no scoring tiles on the rack. Is there a 5-vowel? Well, 7 I think I'm probably looking for. Well, not that I'm currently seeing. 3 points for opponent. This is ridiculous. So I've got 2E and etui. I don't think I have anything onto the L. Is there a way of preserving my E? E's are very useful as bingo tiles, but I do have the blank. Etui for 10. Can I improve on that? Not that I can see. Okay, I do now have a scoring tile. And there could be a low probability bingo here. But nothing's jumped to mind. So quite tempting to play off the duplicates and try and score something. So that would be D, A and K, and Cade is also good. Eek is good. But I don't have anything to go underneath the U. But I could play Dak and Eek. I'm just wondering if it's worth running through the alphabet, and I don't think it is. Law takes an F in front. I'm just mentally running through the alphabet very quickly. And I'm not seeing anything. So my Dak spot remains available. Dork is good. So that doesn't get tripled. I've got Wad. And do I have something with the K? So I've got Wad for 27. The K is a scoring tile for next turn. Yeah, I'm going... Well, why don't I play Waddy instead? Better rack leave, slightly worse score. Yep, Waddy for 24. Well, not good. Quite a long way from a bingo. And a long way from my vowel heavy racks. So I have Caddy in... Wow, opponent blocks that. I do have Caddy in column 13. Do I have a play probably preserving the Q onto this E? Don't think so. I would have Capique through an I, no available I's. So I can play caddy, or I could play just chi. Is there any other options I should be considering? Opponent now in the lead. Well, the D doesn't go well. And if I draw an I will have chin. So I'm going with this. Well, only one vowel, but I have the blank. So I have pinkers. Does that go anywhere? Not sure it does. Well, it does because of org. So I think I am up and running with a bingo, which is good. So let me now look for a better one. How about column 15 ending in E? I think the blank would be likely to be a vowel. So let me just run through the vowels. Not seen a bingo so far. Re-spoken, that doesn't fit. No, so I think I'm going to play pinkers, and this may take an S in front for 79. Well, I draw the F for floor. I have an N for chin, but not the I. But overall, quite a balanced track. Could be a lot worse from 7 random tiles. So do I have a non-bingo ending in E? Not that I can see. I do have OF and FE. I have oof. I have poof. Fantastic. And there may also be plays in row L. It would be nice to get rid of the F and the P. So I can play flop and phi. And that's quite, wow, fantastic bingo by opponent. And he takes the spot I had in mind for poof. The flop spot remains available. That's 26 points, not huge, and I'm placing a vowel underneath a double word square. Can I do better than that? Well, poof fits in column 3, but it takes an S and doesn't get doubled. Can't see a way of getting the F tripled twice. What about a play through this R? Well, that's a good play by opponent. It scores 0 points, so I'm not going to score very much in row H. Still the Z to come, so this could be expensive. And I'm leaving a vowel-heavy rack leave and only 26 points. This really doesn't feel good. That's 6 fewer points. Much better rack leave. What other options are there available for short words? Wow, only 9 minutes on my clock. Two S's to come. I think I like this rack leave, and it's 26 points. I'm going with this. Well, I don't draw an S. No I for chin. No A for qua. What about anything else through the queue? Not that I'm seeing. The B can go above the Y. So I could play bluer in that spot. 32 points. Opponent did have the S, but hasn't scored massively with it. And I wonder if Spinkers is good. So I do actually have something quite nice. I have Unrobe here for 33. A decent rack leave. Pretty good. Looks close to a bingo. But is there one? Just 14 points between us, but opponent is leading 27 tiles in the bag, and I'm down to just 9 minutes on my clock. Very few bingo lanes on this board. Well, tempting to play OB, but I'm gifting a column 1 play, which I don't want to do given my observation. So there's the E as a floater. What about a play making P, putting my E in the middle of P and E? I can play Peel in that spot. 16 points, that's lame. Can't get the B to score twice in this spot. Only 19 points. However, the rack leave is good. This is the best I've seen so far. I don't like it, but I think I may need to go with it. Column 7 is available for bingos ending in L. Okay, I'm going with this. Wow, I draw high-scoring tiles, which is pretty good on a non-bingo-y board. So I don't need to play the J and the Z off in one go. I do have Joe and P. However, Joe takes an S in front and there's still one to come. So maybe play the Z off first, and if I draw the S, I could play Joe, setting up a decent spot in row A. ZE is good. Well, opponent turns over a lot of tiles, takes a 25-point lead. Zell is good. Do I have anything onto this O? Well, not that I can see. I'm coming back to this spot here for the Z. So I can play Zen slightly longer, and I want to turn over tiles to capture the S if possible, or increase my chances of doing so. That's 32, quite a decent score, and I'm not giving opponent any opportunity to score. I'm going with this. Well, what about Nertz, which also gets the Z tripled and turns over a lot more tiles, scores more, again gives very little away. I'm going with this. I don't get the S, which is a shame. That Joe spot is very nice. Wow! Opponent bingo, 79 points. 6 tiles in the bag. I don't have a bingo to come back with, but I do have... I have Jeet. I have Gene as well, but T splits up the duplicate T for 57. So the game not quite over. Nice rack. 3 tiles in the bag. Remaining tiles very non-bingo-y. And I'm looking in row B in case there's a bingo lane up there. I was going to say opponent has blocked minutial, but I didn't quite have the tiles for that. So this rack plus a G is Humangite, which doesn't go. 5 minutes on my clock. And what else does Humangite have an anagram? Humangites is an anagram of Mourngiust. Tegumina, well, that also doesn't go. Do I have a 7 ending in A? No tiles in the bag. Opponent leads by a lot. He's just scored well with Axile. So I do have to bingo now, if I'm going to bingo at all, and that is looking unlikely. Is there really no 7 here ending in A? Ending in A, that would certainly win me the game. I'm confident there are no 8s through the G that fit. No, I'm not seeing a bingo ending in A. Are there any other bingo lanes on this board? Through I and L, ending in E or A. So this rack plus IL. Nope, not seeing anything. So I now need to look to minimize the losing spread. Well, first of all, where can I score with my M? And opponent's got a pretty clunky rack, but I think it's good enough for him to win the game. So I have menu here. Can I then go out with Tina? Well, I blocked the JA spot. Not seeing anything through the I. And it's only 17 points for Tina. Let me put this back and have a think. Just wondering if I can set something up on the bottom row, given opponent's clunky tiles. Well, it's not a setup, but HM is good. What about playing through this O and holding back the M for that spot? What about a play beginning with Z and ending EM? Not seeing anything. Do I have anything in column 7 which sets up a row O spot for me? 2 minutes on my clock. And what about a play in column 4 which sets up a row A play, and that's likely to be unblockable? Well, that's only 4 points. And I'm not seeing that it sets up anything great. Well, this game's lost. There's only 1 minute on my clock. So I am going to have to do something. But what is best? I feel there is probably quite a good out sequence here. I'm just not seeing it. Just not seeing anything down the bottom here. Okay, I am going back to menu, but only because I'm really short on time. And I haven't seen anywhere for ante. But I do have an A for going next to the Z. Yeah, very tight board at the moment. Wow, 19 points on opponent's rack, so if I had have engineered an out in 2, then I could have closed down the losing margin by quite a lot. Not seeing anything with this rack plus an O. Or an I. Pi is good. 12 minutes on opponent's clock, so he's been playing pretty fast. Now, is Guillen good? If it is, I have Taint. But Guillen may be one of those words which looks good but isn't. And it's good. Wow, I do actually have an out. And that may be unblockable. Okay, well, interesting. So I should get some count back. Now, beginning of the month, brand new 5-minute game available on Patreon for all subscribers to the channel. And it's, well, as always, these blitz games are super exciting, full of mistakes and time pressure right from the get-go. So always good fun to make and to watch. And the entire back catalogue is available for all Patreons of the channel. And the link to become a Patreon is immediately in the description below if you're interested. And not only do you get access to the back catalogue of 5-minute game videos, there's also the opportunity to be my opponent on the regular channel, and also the knowledge that you're helping support the channel, which is hugely important for its ongoing survival. Now, opponent taking a while with his play. I've got Taint and Guillen. Do I have a second out? And what's the best I can do with the Z? Well, not terribly much. I may have a play in row F using 3 tiles. Well, good play by opponent, getting rid of 4 of his big tiles. He hasn't created anything for me, or has he? Well, not that's going to score more than 10. And the final score, 344 for me, 382 for my opponent, a winning margin of 38 points, so well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. What a strange game. Bizarre low-scoring start. And then some racks which looked like they surely must have a bingo, and I couldn't find one. So, here we go. Opponent to go first. No bingo here, plays or. Phew. Well, look at this. Nothing over 10 points, and this is where I changed, and these rack leaves are all pretty grim, so I'm happy with that. Opponent plays law, and here we go, the first rack, which looked like it was bingo-y. And nothing here. Well, good in a way, and look at this. Look how low the scores are. No wonder this rack threw me a bit. Having initially thought I would have a bingo, when one doesn't find one, one is looking for a decent score in rack leave, and 13 is never enough to constitute a decent score, and all of these plays trash the rack, so a really tricky position. Now, opponent's rack. Wow, that again looks bingo-y, but nothing available. And again, no bingo here, but that's less surprising with 5 vowels. So I play etui, but A2 probably a better play, hanging on to the E. Opponent plays unlaw. Wow, kabaddi. Wow. F7. That would have been amazing, kabaddi and burr. And it was the only bingo. 66 points, very difficult one to see. But as I have studied all of the 7-letter bingos, that will be in my card box somewhere, so disappointing it didn't pop into my mind. And then I played waddy, and I was thinking about wad, so the non-bingo plays are pretty similar. No bingo here, opponent plays while air. And wow, look at this, only a couple of plays over 20 points when you're sitting here with K, P and Q on your rack. Amazing. So I play caddy for 15 because I wanted to get rid of the Q, and I like that. Opponent plays phi, and then finally, here we go, not a bundle of bingos, but there were a few. 3 in the same spot where I played, and then sprinkle at B7 onto the L. Opponent's rack, and great back-to-back bingo for him, and by back-to-back I mean following on from my bingo, not that he had one previously. So here we go, just 20 points between us. I play poof, which I didn't like. Given the S hook, it's high up on this list. Decent score, decent rack lead, but I think the S hook makes it unnecessarily volatile when we're so close. Now J6. Fogey, fee and or. I think that would have been the play, giving away nothing. An opponent sitting here with both S's. So my play was a gift for him. I now have unrobe, which I like. Roke available for quite a few more points, holding on to the B. Arguably a better play. Opponent plays Vega. No missed bingo here. I played bowl, which I didn't like at all, for 19 points. So the higher scoring plays, well, the same spot as fogey, there's bogey. That would have been better. And N8, N10. Well, that's setting up row O, so not so good, but I think bogey, definitely a better play. And opponent has a bingo, iodates. Wow, missed bingo. He has dioptase through the P, and he has diastole through the L. What a let-off for me. So I trail by only 25. I've got the J and the Z, and I'm an underdog, but I'm close enough to feel that there are still good chances for me to win the game. Jet on A8. That's nice. 36 points. G's. J6. Interesting, getting rid of the J and the Z in one go. What do? I play Nerds for 36, keeping the J, and I like that. I think the J is a good scoring tile. It's a non-bingo-y board, so I'm not hampering my bingo prospects by holding on to the J. And it scores the same as G's, so I'd rather hold on to the J with the chance of scoring next turn. But look at this for a rack for opponent. Absolutely amazing, and that secured the win for him. I do have Jeet for 57, but I'm just far enough behind with opponent on turn to have run out of chances. So opponent plays Axile, which is the final nail in the coffin, unless I can bingo with this rack. And I can't. So I play Menu, which was pretty lame, but it's not obvious looking down this list that any of these plays guarantee an out in 2. And although Menu doesn't guarantee an out in 2, it almost does, because it's very hard for an opponent to block my out. Nice play by opponent, jettisoning so many big tiles. And finally, I played Taint. I could have got one more point by playing Act In. So, absolutely crazy game. I felt that I was missing easy bingos, and in fact, at the end of the game, the only bingo I had missed was a low probability 7 kabaddi, which doesn't which missing that doesn't feel like the most terrible error ever. I'd like to have spotted it and should have spotted it, but it's so low probability that it's more a case of I would have been delighted to have spotted it rather than I'm beating myself up for missing it. Anyway, strange game, but interesting nonetheless. Congratulations to my opponent for winning the game. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.